Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. I'm back with my plans and pans. Well, this is an ongoing, very, very difficult time in the Congress of the United States, but also in the world. And of course, it's very hard to take our eyes off of what is going between Israel and Hamas. Israel has agreed to have daily 4-hour pauses in order for people that are in the north end of Gaza to be able to move. Of course, I've been very, very clear that I believe in the most robust humanitarian assistance, and I have even said that there ought to be a negotiated end of the violence that actually would end with a two-state solution. And I am hopeful that we're going to be able to engage many of the countries in the region and beyond who want to see the end of this violence. That does not mean that Hamas has to maintain its hegemony over the Gaza Strip. No. I am hoping that there can be the Palestinian Authority to have more strength to participate in an end-of-game solution to stop the violence and have two states for two peoples. I have met with people on all sides, people within the 9th Congressional District who had signs on their own property that said, "I stand with Israel," and yet those signs were pulled down and ripped apart. I've been in touch with families whose children have been hostages, both here in DC and closer to home, talking to those families. The anguish that they feel is beyond belief. But I've also very much met with representatives of the Palestinians and many others, even in the Jewish community, who are saying there needs to be a ceasefire. So the conflict is very hot within the communities as well as in the Middle East. And I am hoping that we can sooner rather than later come to some agreements that are going to stop the violence and open the door to a long-term solution. Meantime, I hate to say it, but the Congress of the United States is still in a lot of chaos, at least in the House of Representatives. We know that there's going to be an effort on the part of the Republicans to come up with what we call a continuing resolution, which of course I define as kicking the can down the road, because that doesn't mean that by November 17th that we're going to have a solution and be done with the budget for this year. So we're going to do our best to work with as much as we can with Republicans to do a reasonable continuing resolution, and then before it's too late to be able to actually come up with the 12 budgets that have to be done in order to move on to next year. It is hard to turn on the TV these days without seeing long and persistent and repetitive ads for Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage is private insurance, private for-profit insurance. Be clear about that. I know that many older Americans, many people on Medicare, are going to Medicare Advantage programs, but I want to raise this caution. We know that just in 2021 alone, Medicare Advantage plans denied care to 2 million Americans. In other words, they were told by their doctors that this is what needed to happen, and yet Medicare Advantage turned them down. Well, when those turndowns were evaluated, it turned out that 82% were overturned, that it was not legitimate to cut off those people. But there are many that were not ever challenged because the doctors themselves are so overburdened by being told that they are not going to get paid. So along with Congresswoman Jayapal, the two of us have sent a letter to CMS the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, to penalize those Medicare Advantage programs that are denying so much care and to fine them. Because after all, the federal government does pay Medicare Advantage programs. And I want to say overpays Medicare Advantage programs by an amount of $140 billion a year. Now, if we were able to not have to overpay Medicare Advantage, there would be enough money in traditional Medicare where you can pick your own doctor, where they cannot deny care that your doctor prescribes. Lots of advantages to it. And Medicare itself, traditional Medicare, would be able to pay for eye care, dental care, and hearing. So I am against Medicare Advantage. I think it sounds good. It may be good for a short time, but if you get sick, it may not be there for you. When you sign up, you may not be able to go to all the doctors that you had. So this is an enrollment period for Medicare Advantage. I want to suggest caution. The other thing is, once you get on a Medicare Advantage plan, it's not that easy to get off. So give it a thought. Be careful. We celebrated Veterans Day last Saturday, and we all do have a debt of gratitude to pay for their willingness to sacrifice, to do what needs to be done to protect the United States of America. And we have to take care of our veterans once they leave the service. We know, unfortunately, that many veterans do commit suicide. We have to provide the mental health services that they need, and we need to invest in them and their well-being. But the Republicans, unfortunately, actually proposed a cut of 22% for veterans. 81,000 jobs at the Veterans Administration would have been lost. Unfortunately, right now, that has not gone through. But I just wanted to tell you that even veterans' benefits are on the table when it comes to the Republicans, and we're just not going to let that happen. So thank you, all you veterans out there, and remember that if we can be helpful in my office, anytime you need, if you are having trouble with getting the right amount of benefits, whatever it is, please give us a call. We welcome your call so that we can make sure that everything that you deserve can be given to you. So happy Veterans Day to all of you. Planned Parenthood had an event in my neighborhood inviting people to come in and put bags together, comfort bags, to women who are taking advantage of the services of Planned Parenthood. And you know, we're so lucky here in Illinois that reproductive rights are legal, but beyond that, we are opening our doors to people from states not only around us, but some people traveling great distances. This bag that we put together had a couple pairs of slippers. It had some belly warmers. It had various things that will just give you real comfort. And so we were able to do 100 bags in a pretty short time. A number of women showed up. And I liked to be there because as much as I'm always advocating at every place for reproductive rights to overturn what the Supreme Court did and make sure that abortion is legal around the country, it's nice to do something actually tangible that's going to help people who want to have a little comfort when they go to Planned Parenthood. So I felt good about doing something real. Well, that's it for this week. So I am hoping that we're going to have some good news for you about the budget, about what's going on in the Middle East, and that we're advancing justice and freedom of speech in this very fraught time We want to make sure that we believe everybody's First Amendment rights and all their rights are protected. We'll talk more about it next week. Thanks. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.